السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. تغطيتنا اليوم من حلبة دبي أوتودروم. احنا اليوم بدعوة خاصة من شركة جنرال موتورز، فاجأونا بمسابقة تحدي مهارات التقنيين أو الميكانيكيين الموجودين حول المنطقة. كل سنة بتقوم شركة جنرال موتورز الشرق الأوسط بالتعاون مع وكلائها في منطقة الشرق الأوسط كامل بدعوة أبرز وأهم الفنيين والتقنيين من جميع الوكالات ليقوموا بتحدي واحد داخل هالكراجات الموجودين خلفنا. هذا التحدي بتقوم فيه سنويا زي ما خبرتكم. هذا التحدي لازم يكون فيه فائز واحد، يكون هذا أفضل ميكانيكي موجود بين جميع وكالات الشرق الأوسط، وهذا ببرز حجم الاستثمار وحجم الاهتمام سواء من جنرال موتورز الشرق الأوسط أو من وكلائها في منطقة الشرق الأوسط ككل. خلينا نبلش ويلا.
Good morning, everyone. Here we are at the actual floor of the technicians, and if you look down the road here, you can see the guys are deep in concentration in working the event. The main idea is that they want to prove to the Middle East world and the world that they are the best, and that's what they're working on here. They're working on very complicated bugs. We call them bugs. These are failures we put on the device, and they have to fix every failure in a given amount of time.
So Manny, give me some glimpse about the history behind this competition.
Well, back in 2008, General Motors challenged us in the service department. How can you improve the skills of our technicians? How can you improve the skills of the people that have to deliver service to our customers? And the best way to do that is to ensure that when the customer brings the car in, that they're fixed right the first time. So in 2008, we then launched this program where we then test over 2,000 technicians.
It started here in Dubai?
It started here in Dubai.
Okay, in 2008.
In 2008.
Okay.
And we then tested over 2,000 technicians over a 9-month period.
2,000
technicians.
From the whole region?
From the whole region.
Whoa.
And then we come down, and from 2,000 we are down to 1,800, 1,500, 900, finally down to about 300. And then we do a final test to the last 300, which is a written test in front of an instructor. And from those 300, then now we come down to the best 40. And those best 40 are then brought here to Dubai to compete head to head.
Those are the finalists.
And those
so
are
that's the best out of the best?
Best, exactly.
Ah, okay. Well, you're gonna take me for a tour
Yes,
now?
I love to take you a tour, show you. We have 10 stations set up. I love to show you all the different stations, explain to you what we're doing in all the stations.
This is station number 1?
This is station number 1,
Good.
yes.
Good.
Now, here we are entering the powertrain section,
Okay.
section 2, and the rear axle section, which is section 3.
Okay.
And here, the guys are all working on 2 different situations. The guys are trying to diagnose a customer complaint with the powertrain system. It could mean that it could be electrical, or it could be mechanical.
Okay.
But the only way they can determine that is by connecting the voltmeter, connecting the laptop, the computer, and talk to the systems.
Okay.
And they can then, by talking to the system tells them all the vital information. Like a doctor hooks up a stethoscope to you and he hooks up with this machine. We do the same thing with the car.
Okay.
You know, that we can then check all the vital systems of the vehicle, and then he has to follow what we refer to as the strategy-based diagnostics and determine in process, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. Here's something doesn't look so good. Let me investigate that, but let me continue checking everything else.
Okay.
So in we have 5 vehicles, and these 5 vehicles are all set up with the identical fault. Every technician has the exact same fault. They all have the same time to try and figure out what it is.
And no one can sneak a peek.
And nobody can sneak a peek. Well, that's why we have the gentlemen in gray shirts. We call them the judges. The judges. Now, let me tell you something that I didn't say earlier. The job of the judge is to make sure that the technicians are following the process, that they're in their stations, that they're following safety procedures, very important. But there is no human intervention. Otherwise, the judges do not give any scores. They give their own scores because as they put in the answers and they find the problem, whether they got it right or wrong, the computer then gives them the scores. So at the end of the 2 days, the computer sends all that information to a main server, and we can then determine which guys answered the most correct questions and how long, and which guy took how long to do those answers.
And this will be by the end of the day?
This will be by the end of the day.
Okay.
So then tomorrow we have another 3 hours, then we add all that up, and we can then find out who the best guys was. So there's no human being saying, well, this guy did this,
It's all computerized.
It's all computerized. No subjectivity in the judging because there is no judges. All the judges do is to make sure that they practice safety, they do everything they're supposed to, but the score is all done by the computer.
Okay. And rear axle?
Rear axles, this is more of a mechanical. The customer complained probably of some kind of noise or clunk, and the technician needs to make sure, now what's causing this noise? As you can see, this gentleman just finished his job there. He's putting the cover back on. This gentleman has the cover off. He's still trying to diagnose it. Now these are the shims that they use to either decrease or increase. The distance or the backlash between the pinion and the ring gear. And sometimes if the ring gear and the pinion are too far apart or too tight, they'll go clunk, clunk. Or you can hear a grinding noise if it's too tight. So here we are at station number 4 and number 5. To the right here, or my right, we have station 4, which is the engine performance station. And to my left, station 5, we have the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, affectionately known as HVAC. In both of these stations, the engine performance, each one of these vehicles, as you can see, they're all pickup trucks. They're all set up with some kind of engine fault, a performance fault, which means that they have to determine what type of complaint does the customer have that's creating this complaint. So obviously the first thing the technician does, he has his computer hooked up to the diagnostic connector. The car is talking now to the computer. We're checking to see what are the vital symptoms of this vehicle. If you take a look at this handsome gentleman here on this left side and this handsome gentleman here, now they have gauges hooked up to the vehicle because the customer is probably complaining that he's not getting enough air conditioning. That he turns his AC on full blast and it's not cold enough. So what they need to determine is this a mechanical problem where I don't have enough refrigerant in the system? Or maybe it's a electrical problem where the system is not switching the proper doors to bring air here, bring air there. Or maybe I have a high pressure problem or low pressure problem. And thus the reason why they have the pressure system hooked up, those red devices with the gauges. But they also have the computer hooked up to ensure that the systems, the computers that operate all the doors and switch everything on and off, that they're working properly. Here we are in station number 6 on my right and station number 7 on my left. On my right, station number 6, here's where we do the mechanical measurement. Now, if you're asking, well, what kind of mechanical measurements are we doing? If you take a look at the vehicle, you'll notice that the right front tire is removed and we're exposing the brake rotor of the vehicle. And the customer complaint may be that there's a noise, there's a squeal, there's a vibration. So the technician now needs to determine what's causing it. So what he's going to do, as a researcher in the industry, he's going to test lateral runout to make sure that the rotor is true. So when it's spinning, it is perfect. They'll put a tool there that will measure the actual lateral runout to check for the perfect circumference of that to make sure everything is even. So here we are in station number 7 where we do the electrical diagnosis. As you can see, all the stations are set up, getting ready for the technicians to arrive. The technicians are now in the previous station working. Once they're done there, they will come to this station here. The bench is set up with a computer that allows them to communicate with the vehicle. We have the actual, what we refer as the multiple diagnostic interface. This computer connects to this device, and this device connects to the vehicle. Just like a regular computer at home, you have a USB cable. This is called the interface cable. Now, in here, in this box, they have all the test leads that they need to check what electrical problem they may have. And the device that they will use, or the tool that we'll use, is called the Fluke electrical tester. And this is a standard tool for every GM dealer technicians. Another thing I like to mention is everything that they have here is the exact same tools and equipment that they have back at the dealership. We will not use any type of diagnostics or equipment or tools that is not required by General Motors at the dealership. So we keep everything common across the board.
So Manny, so far we covered all the stations.
Yes, we have.
And thank you for explaining everything to me. It's really fascinating, the whole structure, the whole investment that GM is taking for such a competition.
It's really my pleasure to show the world, to show the media, to show everyone the care that General Motors takes in ensuring that our technicians who's taking care of our customers are recognized. And GM takes great care to ensure that every technician around the Middle East has the proper tools, has the proper training. We invest a lot in training for the technicians. The dealers invest a lot in training for the technicians. And the result is what the customers see, that we fix the cost right the first time and we have a great customer satisfaction. In the end, this is all about the customers. General Motors is a very customer-focused organization, and our main objective is to ensure that we provide the best service and sales experience to every single customer that buys a vehicle. And as a customer, you purchase one of our cars, the last thing you want is that when you bring your cars in for service to fix it, they were not able to fix it for you. And General Motors' aim is to ensure that every time you come in for service, that vehicle is fixed right the first time, every single time.
Perfect. زي ما فرجيناكم اليوم لفينا على المراحل كاملة، خبرناكم عن التفاصيل. السيد ماني ما قصر معانا، هو مدير قسم التدريب في شركة جنرال موتورز الشرق الأوسط، خبرناكم عن كامل التفاصيل. تابعونا باستمرار، ما تنسونا من السبسكرايب والكومنت واللايك والشير، وتتابعوا موقعنا لكل جديد في عالم السيارات. السلام عليكم.